I'll come back for more details over the same topic. We're very delighted to be having over the phone Her Excellency Ambassador Soa'd Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon, Ambassador Soa'd. Hello? Ambassador Soa'd? I guess we're awaiting to be connected with Ambassador Soa'd Shalaby. Her Excellency is the Assistant Foreign Minister. We're going to be shedding light over the diplomatic engagement that is taking place in the region, especially with the partnerships that are affected with different countries, and that was one of the important topics that were taken during the Antalya Diplomacy Forum, which is a very important platform to reinforce the key alliances to foreign policy. Are we still on with Ambassador Shalaby? Ambassador Shalaby?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon.
So this particular forum that was attended by His Excellency the Foreign Minister and the different foreign ministers from different countries, it's a very important engagement and a very important platform, the Diplomacy Forum. Where do you see the importance of that particular platform, especially at this particular time?
Of course, Antalya Diplomatic Forum is held every year, and this is the fifth forum. And its importance comes when it brings all the dignitaries and the academics from different parts of the world to discuss the issues that are pertaining to regional and international security. And of course, in this time of the year when things are all the challenges that are facing the world in the Middle East, and the war between Iran and between Israel and Iran is taking a highlight of all the discussions that are taking place in the forums. That is why it is important that our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Badr Abdelati, is attending together with all the other foreign ministers. It's a good opportunity to discuss the regional security problems that are facing and the tensions that are escalating or de-escalating, whether it is Iran or the United States, who are trying to reach, to hold a ceasefire and to manage the states of Iran in a way that all the countries are benefiting, and after the blockage that has taken place during the past week.
Right, that sounds good. But then let me ask you, Your Excellency, as a former Assistant Foreign Minister, and you have a wide scope of knowledge when it comes to soft diplomacy. This particular weapon or this particular tool that succeeds when everything else fails just exactly fits with this situation the U.S. and Iran are going through. Immediately after negotiations and immediately after holding a truce of a ceasefire and opening the Strait of Hormuz, the diplomacy fails, and again it is closed again because of the probably the stubbornness on the U.S. side, and that was met with retaliation of the same equal stubbornness on Iran's side. I mean, assessing situations like that, soft diplomacy is the only way, whether we like it or no. If you like to elaborate.
Yes, of course, mediation is very important. Diplomacy in this regard, and especially when they are all meeting in a forum like that in Antalya, all the stakeholders are there. So it is best to do intensive face-to-face negotiations and mediate between Pakistan, Iran, Egypt, United States, of course, and Turkey. These are the regional powers who are taking the lead in the negotiations, and Egypt's role is very much appreciated by all the stakeholders. And of course, there has been no final deal reached, and the Pakistanis are asking, after Islamabad has not reached an agreement, they are asking for continuing the negotiations, because, as you said, the soft power, the diplomacy, the mediation is the only way to reach ceasefire. And
Exactly.
also to reach a permanent agreement of the Straits of Hormuz.
Right, exactly. Most of the cases, and especially with this case of the U.S.-Iran case, the cause for the failure, or the cause of the failure of negotiations, goes back to the reason of the loss of trust between Iran and the United States, and the other way around. And that's why there are no assurances, there are no credibility, there is no credibility whatsoever when it comes to any promises. And that's why everyone is becoming attentive at his end, and that doesn't really result in good, positive results. In that case, how is that being handled in diplomacy?
Yes, Iran is a very, very good mediator and very good in diplomacy. They had been for many, many years, maybe 30, 40 years, in negotiations with the United States because of their nuclear ambitions, and because Iran refused to abandon its nuclear ambitions. So, as you said, continuous diplomacy, and they have to do several rounds until they reach a solution. One part should be giving in to the other part in the long process. This is not going to finish in 2 weeks like before. Ceasefire is a way to give them a chance in order to mediate and to discuss future arrangements, future agreements. And this is why the collapse of the talks happened, because there was not enough time to discuss. 21 hours is nothing in a long process of diplomacy. That is why each party should bring its terms, and of course the Iranian delegation has to accept the United States 20 points that they have presented. So it is important that both parties reach agreement to the conflict, and in order to end the conflict, there has to be no escalation, no threats, and the United States is good at that. They threat all the time, and they escalate the war, and this is never going to help in reaching an agreement.
Right.
That is why I'm confident that Dr. Abdelati, together with the 4 regional powers, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, are going to meet in Turkey, and they are going to discuss the ways and means of reaching a deal in order to satisfy Iran and to stop the war permanently.
At this positive note, Your Excellency Ambassador Soa'd Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much for your valuable input. And Iran swiftly reversed course on reopening the Strait of Hormuz, reimposing the restrictions on the critical waterway on Saturday after the U.S. said the move would not end its blockade. The announcement came the morning after U.S. President Donald Trump said The American blockade will remain in full force until Tehran reaches a deal with the U.S., including on its nuclear program.
Iran swiftly reversed course on reopening the Strait of Hormuz, reinforcing restrictions on the critical waterway on Saturday after the U.S. said it would not end its blockade of Iran-linked shipping. Iran Joint Military Command said on Saturday that control of the Strait of Hormuz has returned to its previous state under strict management and control of the armed forces. It warned that it will continue to block transit through the strait as long as the U.S. blockade of ports remained in effect. The announcement came the morning after U.S. President Donald Trump said that even after Iran announced the strait reopening on Friday, the American blockade will remain in full force until Tehran reaches a deal with the U.S., including on its nuclear program. The conflict over the choke-point threatened to deepen the energy riling the global economy after oil prices began to fall again on Friday on hopes that U.S. and Iran were drawing closer to an agreement. Roughly one-fifth of the world's oil passes through the strait, and further limits would squeeze already constrained supply, driving prices high once again. Control over the strait has proven to be one main point of leverage prompted the U.S. to deploy forces and initiate a blockade on Iranian ports as a part of an effort to force Iran to accept a Pakistan-brokered ceasefire to end almost 7 weeks of war that has raged between Israel, the U.S. and Iran.
The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, said it was outraged after 2 truck drivers it contracted to deliver clean water to families stranded inside the Gaza Strip were killed by Israeli fire. The UN estimated that over 38,000 women and girls were killed in the Gaza war by the end of 2025, amounting to over half of the 71,000 deaths that were recorded by the territory's health ministry.
The United Nations Children's Agency UNICEF said it was outraged after 2 truck drivers it contracted to deliver clean water to families in the Gaza Strip were killed by Israeli fire. The UN agency said in a statement the incident occurred during routine water trucking Friday morning at the Mansoura water filling point in northern Gaza, which supplies Gaza City. 2 others were injured in the attack. UNICEF said it had suspended activities at the site and called on the Israeli authorities to investigate, stressing that humanitarian workers, civilians and vital water infrastructure must be protected under international humanitarian law. More than 750 Palestinians have been killed since October's ceasefire, according to local media. Nearly 1 million women and girls have been repeatedly displaced during the conflict, while nearly 790,000 women and girls having experienced crisis level or catastrophic level food insecurity. The UN estimated that over 38,000 women and girls were killed in the Gaza war by the end of 2025.